Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our information session on the cloud security micro-credential. The meeting will get started. We're just going to wait a few minutes to get more people into the room. So bear with us. We'll start shortly. Okay, I think we'll get started. We have a good portion of people already here. Welcome, everyone. We're delighted that you decided to join us today for this information session on the cloud security micro-credential. So we'll get started. If we can go to the next slide, please. So today we're going to be doing some quick introductions first, and then we'll talk about why cloud security, the skills and career opportunities required. We'll go through the typical tasks of a cloud security specialist. Then we'll have an overview of the program. We'll also have a little demo, and then we'll go through the timing, the scheduling, and registration information. We will have a question period at the end of the presentation, so we kindly ask that you keep your questions to the end, and you'll be able to type them into the chat. So that's it. We can get started. I just want to mention before we do get started that this micro-credential was made possible in part through the support of the National Cybersecurity Consortium and the Government of Canada. Also want to mention that the program was developed in collaboration with FX Innovation, a Bell Canada company. The program was developed in conjunction with academic and industry experts. We have Dr. Sam Rajesh-Malt, who is our academic program director, and our industry experts, some of which who you'll be meeting today, is Mr. Pierre Defoy from FX Innovation, Daniel Pakrami from Google, Patrick Lecuyer from Google, Nicandro Scarabeo from Bell Canada, Arvind Ragurman from Mariner Innovations, Michael Havas from McGill University, and Mehdi Ladormi from OnePoint. Perhaps those of you presenters who are here can just do a quick greet, to present yourselves. Perhaps starting with Dr. Sam Rajesh-Malt.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I am Sam Rajesh-Malt. I'm the academic program director for this program. So nice to meet you all and hope you have a good time learning more about our program today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pierre Defoy. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer at FX Innovation. I have collaborated in developing the material for this course, so I hope you enjoy the session today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Arvind Raguraman, and I'm working as a senior software architect and cloud architect for Mariner Innovations. I did collaborate a lot with this program, so looking forward to the session along with you folks. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mehdi Ladormi, cybersecurity consultant with OnePoint, assigned to different clients, currently working for Airport of Montreal as a senior cybersecurity consultant. I usually work with different clients in different industries, and especially for cloud cybersecurity. Nice to meet you all.
Okay, so we'll get started right away with Pierre and why cloud security.
All right, so that's a great question. Why cloud security? I was reading a recent article published by LinkedIn, and they were reporting in that article that in 2024, the global market for cloud computing has experienced unprecedented growth. It was estimated that in 2023 to be approximately at 545 million US dollars globally, and is projected to reach around $1.2 trillion in 2026. So the adoption of the cloud is going very rapidly, and we are seeing more and more enterprises moving to the cloud, as well as enterprises who are already in the cloud that are expanding their footprint in the cloud. This adoption, the move to the cloud brings a lot of advantages for enterprises, and that's why it's going so fast, so rapidly. It allows great agility, of course, the ability to store almost an infinite amount of data, and the ability to access this data globally from anywhere in the world. So those are great advantages, but this popularity and this rapid growth of adoption from the enterprises make the cloud a great target for attackers. This is why we're seeing more and more attacks and breaches around cloud environments. And the attackers who are targeting these cloud environments are getting more and more sophisticated, developing specific attack patterns specifically designed for cloud environments and for the specific vulnerabilities that are exposed through cloud environments. So and they're also starting to leverage some AI capabilities to develop even more speed into the way they add speed to their attacks, and they increase the quality of the attacks that they perform against these environments, and that increases the amount of breaches that we see every day in the news. The cloud environments, what they bring are specific vulnerabilities that were not present in legacy environments like on-premises environments, due to the nature that all the environments are accessible directly on the internet from everywhere in the world. There are new capabilities, new features that are published by the cloud providers. So all these new vulnerabilities like S3 buckets that are exposed on AWS environments and whatnot are all being leveraged by these attackers to perform their attacks and compromise these environments and breach the information that is stored in these environments. So we need to have new security controls. We need to have new skills and new skill sets to better control these environments and maintain a secure posture for these cloud environments that are growing and growing. The cloud providers are constantly adding new capabilities, cloud services. They're evolving existing capabilities as well. Enterprises accelerate their development and their deployment to cloud environments. All these changes are happening at a much higher rate than ever before. And this flux of capabilities and new deployment and new environments creates an increasing complexity into the ecosystem of these enterprises, and it increases the complexity of maintaining a constant security posture. This dynamic nature of the cloud brings a lot of challenges for security experts, and not only for security experts, it also brings new challenges for cloud DevOps who deploy and maintain workloads in the cloud. They also need to have a grasp on these new paradigms, the new security vulnerabilities and new vectors of attacks that are evolving day after day. That they need to get a better understanding of these vulnerabilities to better control the system that they deploy in these new cloud environments and that they bring online in their enterprise ecosystems. And when we think about the cost of data breaches, IBM publishes yearly a report on the cost of data breaches in the United States. And the most recent report that they published, they estimated the average cost of a breach in 2024 went to $4.88 million per breach for an enterprise. This is an increase of 10% over what we saw in the 2023 report. So not only the number of breaches increases due to the rapid adoption of these cloud technologies, but also the cost of each of these breaches increases as well. Due to the number, the amount of data that is being stored in these environments and the value of the data that is being stored in there as well. That is why the industry needs more people trained on these new risks, these new vulnerabilities, and these new measures and controls that need to be in place to tackle all these challenges that reduce the number of breaches that every enterprise suffer on a yearly basis. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. So before diving into the concept, like let's try to imagine this. Let's say you're responsible for $1 billion company's data, and the data can be customer information, intellectual properties, or it can even be applications that's running, right? So it can be anything. Now imagine all of this running or sitting in the cloud, which is publicly accessible, right? Because it's in the cloud. And now that it's accessible from anywhere, it also introduces this potential vulnerability of cyber attacks, right? It sounds daunting a little bit, right? So, but the reality is organizations and businesses, they want to innovate faster. They want to get the products out to the market faster. And this is where cloud security professionals, they step in. And not just as protectors, so they would be enablers to ensure that the how to securely manage the cloud platform. Now, diving into the shortage of skilled professionals, so that's a massive challenge that's currently being faced by the industry. There's a lot of shortage of professionals. There are more job openings than qualified experts to fill them. And it's predominantly getting bigger and bigger in cloud security. Why? Because cloud security is relatively new, and it's evolving, or it's growing at a rapid pace, which often exceeds the rate at which we can develop talent. And that's what we are observing with this industry. On one hand, it's a massive challenge for the organizations where they need to hire a talent, train them, retain them. But on the other hand, it's a great opportunity for professionals like you who are looking to step into the cloud security space, right? Because shortage drives up salaries, it enhances job security, and it often you can have like fast-tracked career progressions when you look at this. And the other thing that I want to talk about quickly before moving on to the next one is let's understand that cloud security is very specialized when compared to how security works in general, because it's not something where you can simply extend your on-prem security directly to cloud. It's not that transferable, right? Because you need a different mindset if you want to operate security within the cloud, because there's a lot of factors that come into play, considering like shared responsibility model, responsibility of the cloud and in the cloud concepts, scalability, dynamic provisioning of resources. There's a lot of things, and with cloud, there's ever evolving threats. So the demand pretty much it raises the bar, right? And also it raises the bar for in terms of rewards who are willing for candidates who are willing to learn and grow in this domain. Next slide, please. Perfect. So this chart is a report that's released by World Economic Forum, and these are the list of fastest growing jobs from 2025 to 2030. And we've highlighted two specific jobs, which is the security management specialist and the information security analyst. So the management specialist are someone who's responsible for creating policies, implementing them, procedures, best practices, and everything. And the security analysts, on the other hand, they are responsible for mitigating cybersecurity threats, managing incident response, and they ensure that compliance is followed across. These are two given, like evident roles, but I also want to quickly touch base on some implicit roles that I see on this list. What I mean by implicit is you still need a security mindset, or you still need to have knowledge on the security part of cloud, even if you want to work on these roles. For example, big data specialists, AI and machine learning specialists, Internet of Things specialists, and DevOps engineer. All of this are cross-functional. You need to have that security mindset to work on all of these roles. So I just want to highlight that on the growing demand for cloud security professionals. Next slide, please. Okay, now moving on to the required skills that's needed by a cloud security professional. It's an amalgamation, or it's a combination of three different areas that we want to focus on. One is the technical aspect, the other is the core security concepts, and the other one is the soft skills, which are pretty much transferable in wherever you are working today. So technical skills, it focuses on some of the cloud native tools, cloud native solutions, where you get expertise around hands-on experiences around AWS Guard Duty and Azure Sentinel, and they are native security tools that is readily available to you for use. And then also some of the key technical concepts like how authorization and authentication works, which is IAM, identity and access management, encryption in general, how does it work? Automation of security, how can I automate it? Vulnerability management, scanning, and a lot of things would come under the technical skills. From a core security concept, we would be focusing on zero trust, which is never trust, always verify. So it can be applied to a wide range of areas. For instance, it can be applied to authentication and authorization, following the principles of least privilege. All of that can be covered under zero trust. Risk management is where you proactively try to understand what's going on in my organization, identify risks in advance in a proactive way. And then once you identify the risk, you decide whether am I going to mitigate it, or am I going to accept it, or am I going to forward it? There's a lot of actions or outcomes that can come out of a risk management, but all of that would be coming under the core concept. And then moving on to incident response, this is where like after a security breach, a successful security breach within your organization, how am I going to respond? Like what kind of actions would I take? It can start from your preparation, identification, containment, eradication, and finally recovery. So it goes through multiple steps. So all of this is really required from a core concept. And then finally, shared responsibility model. As I mentioned before, there are two key responsibilities when it comes down to cloud. One is security of the cloud, which is taken care by the cloud service provider. And then there's security in the cloud, which is taken care by the customer who has deployed applications or products within the cloud platform. So we need to clearly understand that. Because we cannot operate in cloud with a mindset that since it's cloud, it's a given security. I mean, security is automatically taken care of, and I need not worry about anything, right? That's not the mindset we can go with for cloud security. So we need to have a very clear understanding on how all of these things work. And then the final section is the soft skills section, which is more about communication, collaboration, and the ability to convey technical concepts. When a breach happens, if I'm having some kind of plan, incident response plan, how am I going to convey this to non-technical leaders or stakeholders, right? So all of this would come under the soft skill. Next slide, please. So this slide mostly talks about what are the different different roles, different jobs that are available for a cybersecurity. It's kind of like a career pathway, and it starts with your entry level, mid level, and a senior management level. And there's a lot of roles. I don't want to talk about every single role, but I want to highlight few of the roles that would be really beneficial. For instance, there's penetration tester or an ethical hacker who can try to identify weakness and work with teams to patch security gaps. Cybersecurity analyst, analyze cybersecurity protocol to identify and address weakness again. Incident response specialist, again, as we discussed, when a breach happens, how am I going to respond to that attack? Cybersecurity specialist, engineer, who are there to safeguard endpoints and networks. Auditors, they try to audit organizations and assess vulnerability and also assess compliance. Am I compliant? If I require any compliance to be followed, am I following it? All of that can be some of the key roles that I want to quickly highlight. Next slide, please. So from an opportunity standpoint, there's high demand for talent. That's a given. It's a no-brainer, right? So there is a lot of jobs that's available on the cloud security domain. We don't have experts in that area. We don't have people, talent readily available in that area. It's most sought after experts in the tech industry, from a demand standpoint. And then the diverse career pathway, as we saw, there's a lot of roles. You can either be a pen tester, or you can be an architect, or you can be part of the incident response team. You can be part of the DevOps, DevSecOps, which is the security aspect of the DevOps team. You can be a compliance officer. There's a lot of pathways that you can choose from bottom up, right? So it all goes back to what you're really interested in. Impactful work. So since you would be working as a security professional in a cloud industry or a cloud-based organization, you would be one of the key stakeholders, or you would be responsible for protecting the data, sensitive data, ensure privacy, preventing cyber attacks. You would play a very pivotal role within your organization, and it gives you satisfaction. Like let's say you put in some controls already in place, and in when there is an attack ongoing, and if your controls are working as expected, that gives you happiness. Okay, that gives that's the impact that it creates on the job that you are doing, right? Because real life impacts, you would be really able to see that. Continuous learning opportunities, the dynamic nature, and the threat landscape, it evolves forever when it's cloud security especially. So you always need to be updated with what's going on. And there's also lots of certifications that you can take. And in this case, we have our micro-credential. That's going to be a wonderful learning opportunity to keep you updated with all the latest and greatest cloud vulnerabilities. Innovation. So the advancements in artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation, there's a lot of area using which we can innovate. So the cloud security professionals, they can work on cutting edge technologies, and which will help them to grow personally, as well as they would be able to contribute to the industry as well. And finally, global opportunities. So this is where there's lots of opportunities worldwide, and it's a big demand. And also, since most of the cloud-based can be done remotely, the configurations and anything and everything can be done remotely, there's a big opportunity there as well for multinational companies to work for multinational companies, or to work remotely for global organizations. And with that, I hand it over to Nina.
Yeah, thank you, Arvin. So we're going to dive into the typical tasks of a cloud security specialist, especially like the cloud security advisor with the advisory role. Yes, no one is we all agree that like Arvind said that there is a huge demand for cybersecurity consultants nowadays because of the ever-changing landscape, like the digital landscape, right? But you know, with those changes, even the way cybersecurity is implemented changes also. You know, we don't implement cybersecurity the same way we used to. You know, I personally have over a decade of experience in cybersecurity in Montreal and internationally. I can assure you that cybersecurity, that the way we used to implement cybersecurity 7 years ago or 8 years ago is not the same as we do it today. Why? Because it's changing. And I worked across different industries: finance, utilities, aviation, and all of them, they have something in common. Like Pierre said, they all want to move to the cloud. They're all moving to the cloud. They're all shifting their workloads to the cloud. And the way you implement cybersecurity in the cloud is different than you know, implementing it the traditional way. So in this program, we'll teach you, you know, how to deal with this ever-changing landscape. So as a security professional, as a security advisor, you learn how to implement cloud security within your organization with different, you know, with the different types of clouds, you know, either like the PaaS, the SaaS, or the IaaS. Regardless of the implementation, you learn how to implement the cloud cybersecurity requirements. You also learn how to secure the pipelines, because once we say cloud, we also say automation, a lot of automations, automatic deployment, CI/CDs, continuous integration and continuous deployment. So you learn how to implement, you know, the security within the pipelines. Of course, once you say cloud, you say third-party involvement. So there is a third party involved in the service. So you learn how to manage the third-party security risks. Next slide, please. Then, of course, security risk assessment. So the threat you are facing using the cloud is different from the threat on premises. So you learn how to manage the risks of implementing different types of clouds. Vulnerability assessment also. So you have to identify the weaknesses in the system, in the cloud, in the applications that are hosted in the cloud. So your company will probably have like Azure tenant or AWS account or Google account, or maybe they are using a external SaaS, they are using external passes. So regardless of the implementation, you learn how to implement the vulnerability assessment within those environments. Security integration. Your daily life will be like how to integrate security within, you know, the different like projects, like business line project within your corporations. And it comes with challenges. So we'll teach you how to deal with those challenges, because, you know, those companies, they are not here to do security. They are here to deliver like services, and they have the core business. But you, as a cybersecurity consultant, you need to help them. And the term that Arvind said earlier is you have to be an enabler. So we teach you how to be an enabler for the business, how to help them deliver their services, their goods in a secure way. And of course, data protection and privacy. So the cloud bring challenges for data protection and privacy. And as you know, in Quebec, we have the Law 25, which implement, which like we have to respect the Law 25 for data privacy. So you learn how to protect, your corporate data and to protect the privacy of the data. So yes, we'll give you an understanding of the cybersecurity principles and how you implement them in real world corporate life. So you have a like the first-hand understanding on how it applies on real life.
Thank you, Mahdi, and of course, thank you to Pierre for talking about why cloud security. And as you listened, Pierre clearly explained how attacks are sophisticated and attackers are using various methods, including AI and other technologies, to prepare their attacks. So as a cloud security expert, you need to stay one step ahead of the attacker so that organization and all the systems and data and the resources can be protected. And as Aravind mentioned about this field, that is cloud security, is basically an evolving field, and industry needs lots of experts in this. And when you look at the requirement and the opportunities available for cloud security is enormous. And again, Aravind mentioned about how this security component is integrated in various job profiles. So not only as a cybersecurity professional or cloud security professional, other employees in an organization also need to know about this cloud security so that they'll be able to do their job in a good manner, so that it's not going to have an impact. They're not going to have some security breaches in the organization. So moving on, now we listen to Mehdi, who clearly explained that the security implementation, which is done today, is not same as years back. So organizations are looking into people who know the latest technical skills so that they'll be able to implement security protocols and standards and setups which are matching to the industry. And as we look into our program, our cloud security micro-credential, it's a non-credit, it's a part-time program. Our cloud security program has 8 modules, and each module has 15 hours. So you have a total duration of 120 hours, and our program is fully online. Next slide, please. And when you look at our cloud security modules, the first 2 modules are totally introductory. So our program basically starts with the basic concepts so that anybody who's interested in joining this cloud security profession, they are welcome, so that they can just take this 2 modules to get their foundation strong, and then they can move on to the next levels. So if you look at the entire program structure, the first 2 modules are asynchronous. So it is a self-directed based learning where you need not have any technical skills to join this particular module. So all students, all professionals who are interested in taking up this cloud security program, you are welcome to take the introductory module so that you have a strong foundation. And next we have the modules 3 and 6, which are the core modules. So these modules are synchronous, that is, they are instructor-led. So you'll have weekday classes where you'll have live sessions with the instructor, and the instructor will be guiding you through the entire module. And also the last 2 modules, it is 7 and 8. So that's a mistake in the slide. So it's 7 and 8. It specializes on certain aspects of cloud security. So we'll look into that. Next slide, please. So here, when you look at module 1, it talks about the introduction to cloud security. So here, basically, you'll be learning about what cloud computing is and also the various architectures in cloud computing. You'll learn about virtual machines, and you'll learn about how cloud is managed and different mechanisms which are done in various platforms. If you come to the second module, it talks, previous slide, please. So it talks about the cloud security. So here we are focusing on the security aspects of cloud. So this is again an introductory module which focuses on essential concepts which are needed for cloud security. Then you'll learn about cryptography, data privacy, identity and access management. You will be learning about IDS, and all these things are covered in this particular module. Next, when you look into the third module, it talks about cloud security governance, risk, and compliance. So as the speakers are mentioning, in today's organizations landscape, we have a lot of threats, a lot of vulnerabilities which are there in organization. So organizations need to comply to various regulations. So here we have various concepts that you will learn about preventive controls. Then you will be learning about how cloud security risk has an impact in an enterprise. So this particular module will talk about all the standards which an organization needs to implement. So you as a cloud security professional, if you're joining an organization and if somebody asks you how we can implement this particular standard, like ISO, we have the NIST cybersecurity standard. So having knowledge about this will help you guide the organization to prepare them well for this compliances and other regulatory requirement. Then we have the fourth module, which talks about the security and cloud architecture. So you'll be learning about the cloud best practices like privileged password management. Then you have the multi-factor authentication. Then PIM, that is privileged identity management, and various other mechanisms by which the cloud is secure. Next slide, please. Yes, so in module 5, you will be learning about how vulnerabilities are monitored, how attacks and how threats can be controlled. So we have various mechanisms, as I was mentioning earlier, in this ever-evolving field. It's not like the human alone is going to deal with all these threats. So you need technology plus human skills. So here you will have a SIM, that is an software which has all the monitoring mechanisms, which will give you alerts, which will give you some indications about attacks. So you will use your human skill plus the technology-based alerts to determine whether there's an attack or not. So you'll be learning about various tools that are available in various platforms in doing this. And the next module talks about local and remote endpoint security. As you know that the weakest link in any particular architecture can break a very secure environment. So if a particular laptop or if a particular mobile which is connected to an enterprise is not secure, that in turn can be used as an entry point by an attacker to attack the organization. So in today's world, when things are moving to cloud, local and remote endpoint security also is very important. So in this particular module, you will be learning about the various aspects on that, like EDR, which is an endpoint detection and response. So when there is an when the system detects that there is an threat in an endpoint, you will be having a certain mechanism by which the system will respond. So you'll be learning all these skills in this particular module. Then we have the seventh module, which talks about how AI and other quantum computing and blockchain and other latest emerging technologies which are available are used in securing the cloud. So it's again, it's not the AI program which can take responsibility when there's an attack. So that's what I heard from various CIOs. It's like when there is an attack, the AI program can't take the responsibility of being attacked. So it's always a human. So it's again a combination of AI and technologies plus the human skill, which will enable you to protect the organization. So in this particular topic, you will be learning the various technologies by which you can secure the cloud. And the last module talks about applied cloud security. So in this particular module, we'll be discussing about various domains where cloud security is implemented. So you'll be talking about like finance industry, healthcare industry, travel industries, government bodies. So various domains have various specific requirements and compliances. So in this particular module, we'll be talking about that. And again, continuous integration and continuous delivery will be discussed in this particular module. So overall, when you look at our cloud security curriculum, it's all from the start. It starts from like a 0 to hero program. So you start with no technical knowledge, and then you gradually move on to the advanced topics in cloud security. The next slide, please. So here, in your journey and during this course, you'll be having support. There will be lab modules and lab activities which you will be doing. So you'll have a lab assistant who will be guiding you during that process. And today also we have with us Michelangelo who will be giving you a demo on cloud security. In this particular cloud security program, you have both theory and hands-on experience, which you will be having during the course. Next slide. And again, when you look at our curriculum is again embedded with the industries, certifications, and other courses. So as you do our cloud security program, you can optionally join our AWS Academy. So McGill AWS Academy is there where you can parallelly do introduction to cloud and cloud security foundation courses, and also through the Microsoft Education Partner Network, you'll be able to join in Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, Microsoft Security Compliance and Identity Fundamentals. So these are some of the courses which you can do in parallel, and these courses helps you to do certification. For example, if you do that course through AWS Academy. So these are online modules which are available in our academy. And when you join this course, as a part of that, you can also join that. It's not going to cost you anything. So that can lead you to certification. So those curriculums are focused on the certification pathways. So if you join these courses, this will help you to get certifications from Amazon and Microsoft. Next slide, please. So here we have our modules mapped to various certifications that are available in the market. So our particular course basically tries to cover many concepts from various certifications. Apart from McGill own badges, if you are interested in doing other certification, this program can help you. We are not going to cover everything in that particular path, but this can help you do those certification, and that is one of the advantage of this particular program. So now I will hand over to Michelangelo, who will be giving you a demo on cloud security. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelangelo. I'm part of McGill's IT help and support team. So today I'll be showing a demo, and I'll just do a quick recap. So cloud security is the practice of protecting data application infrastructure in cloud environments. And there are three major cloud platforms that you could use. So there's Amazon Web Services, which is also known as AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform, which is GCP. And as the previous speakers said, the cloud is used to reduce the expensive upfront cost for hardware, and it's also used to provide a better scalability and reliability so it can be reached on a global basis. And it offers resources like server, storage, and database. So now I'll share my screen. Okay, so in this session, we'll be looking at some of the ways to apply cloud security, and we'll focus on AWS and how three of its services, S3, CloudTrail, and Athena, work together. So here's what we'll do. We'll create a secure storage bucket with S3, and then we'll enable the activity logging with CloudTrail, and then we'll use Athena to analyze the log and gain actionable insights. And I'll explain each of them as we work on them. So this is the AWS dashboard, and we'll search for the first service at the top left. We'll search for S3. And S3 is a scalable object storage service, which means that you can store any types of data, documents, video, logs, and access it from anywhere. So it's also called a bucket, and it will securely store our logs and query results that we'll create along with CloudTrail and Athena. So here we'll create just a log bucket. We'll just name it whatever we want. So this will create our bucket. Next, we'll go to CloudTrail, and CloudTrail will help us monitor activity in our AWS account. We'll also record calls like database CRUD, which is create, read, update, and delete. So anytime that an action that is created, that is used, updated, or deleted, which will be crucial for security and compliance purposes. CloudTrail also keeps a detailed record of who did what in AWS, and this is also essential for auditing and troubleshooting. So we'll create a trail. Here we'll select our bucket that we just created so that it stores that log and those events in that bucket. And we'll create next. Okay, so now that that's created, we can go in the event history to see usually what the CloudTrail will record. However, what we want to do today is that we want to create an Athena table, which is a serverless query service that lets you analyze data stored on the AWS using a language called SQL, and it requires no infrastructure. So we'll create a table. We'll select our log. Here we'll select the table name that we'll be using it for later. And then we'll create our table. So on Athena, we'll put a query request to extract the information on who created a bucket and when. And we can use SQL language to do this. So we'll select the table that we just created, and we'll select who created a bucket. So we can run. So now there's no results. It takes a bit of time to load, but we'll create a new bucket just to confirm that. So bucket creation. Go back to Athena. So I'll take a couple minutes to load this, but I'll explain what type of information I'll be looking at by looking at CloudTrail, and just to show the type of information that we'll be looking at. So these are the event names, and that's what we're looking for. This will give us who created what and when so which helps us track changes and ensure proper access. Here we'll see that there's the username, there's the event name, and then there's a timestamp, which are all relevant information that we'll be using. We'll go back to Athena to try to run it again. Okay, so we'll run. Okay, sometimes it takes a bit of time to load. So the trail takes usually 5 minutes to load, but the demonstration here will usually show up here. Okay. Reuse query results. Okay, we'll move on from this. You basically today what we've done is we've applied if you imagine a scenario where you want to monitor suspicious activity in your AWS account, like unauthorized resource creation, which is the create bucket that we're trying to do. We'll have created a structure like today where the S3 will store the logs security, and on CloudTrail we'll be able to track and log the user activity, and we'll be using Athena to question and to determine and to analyze the logs and identify an anomaly pattern. So a type of anomaly pattern would be if a S3 bucket policy or ACL can enforce access control, if it captures a denied access, or if there's a sudden spike in usage, so potentially there's a brute force attempt or there's a compromised user. And then there's configuration changes such as adding new users to sensitive data or the S3 that shouldn't be there. Okay, so that concludes this demonstration. This setup usually forms a strong security framework for detecting and responding to potential threats in your cloud environment.
So thank you very much, everyone, for that great presentation. And we'll move on now to the more technical stuff in terms of registration. I just want to mention that my name is Lucy Brunetti. I'm the program manager in charge of this program, together with my colleague Nina, who's online here advancing the slides for us. Thank you, Nina. And so for any of your questions and whatnot, you'll be dealing with us, so we'll be happy to help with you. So let's just quickly look at the program schedule so we can go to questions. I'm sure everybody's having questions by now. Here, what I would like to point out is that Module 1 and 2 are online asynchronous courses, so you can do those at your own time. And the registration for those two modules will open on January 20th. And these modules are recommended for people who are new to this field, don't have any sort of background history or experience. So they're great fundamental courses to just get an idea. But they're not required for you to complete the program. So the registration for this program is quite flexible. You can start with number 3, or you can start with number 1. So you have various different options. So you'll see that those two are starting in January, and then starting in February, we'll go with module 3 all the way through to the end of June. The remaining modules 3 to 8 are online instructor-led courses. So you do have to log in, and one of our instructors will be teaching. So we can move to the next slide. So again, registration is by module. You can pick and choose. You can also decide, if you decide that this is great, you can register for all of them and get a 10% discount. But like I said, the first two are not required for people with more experience. And so we will provide also a discount for you if you're completing. There's 2 ways to complete: 1 to 8 or 3 to 8. So there will be some benefit if you purchase all of them at the same time. And then finally, we'll move on to just note that there will be digital badges offered on the completion. There are 3 different badges. So for the fundamentals, modules 1 and 2, if you successfully complete those modules, you will receive a Cloud Security Fundamentals badge. For modules 3 to 6, which is the core, as Dr. Samrajesh was discussing, this will get you a Cloud Security Practitioner badge. And finally, for the entire program, you will receive a Cloud Security Expert, which can be done, as I said, by completing all 8 modules or from the core to the end. So that's it. I know that you probably all have questions now, so please do put them in the chat, and we will insert the link to the program page in the chat so that you can go and see more details about it, the modules. There's lots of information on that page. You can also email us at pce.scs@mcgill.ca, and there's a phone number there if you're more comfortable on the phone to reach out to us if you have questions. So please feel free. I know I've answered already a couple of questions about the modules. If anyone else, here we have a first question about payment plans. No, unfortunately, we don't have payment plans, but you do have the option of purchasing 1 module at a time. So I have a question here that says, who is the micro-credential made for? Can someone without a background in tech or bachelor's degree benefit from it? And I was wondering if McGill can help us find an opportunity after this is done. So yeah, it's a wide audience. You definitely can take this program if you don't have experience, and that's where we recommend you start with the 2 fundamental courses. With regards to finding an opportunity, well, we don't really find opportunities, but the benefit of joining one of our courses that you will be mixing with people and talking and networking. So that's also a great benefit for you. The badges are not available on Credly. This is another question. Sorry, I have more questions coming in. This is a new micro-credential. We just started it last semester, so it's fairly new to us. And is this micro-credential known by employers, and what are you doing to get it known? So we do have industry experts that have contributed to this, and we are running some advertising campaigns. I don't know directly to employers. Yes, there are some exams, but this is not a pure transcript course in terms of, grades and that. There's some daily checkpoint, not daily, there's every session you'll be asked to do a recap, and then there is a final test, but it's just a pass-fail. It's not anything dramatic. Yes, there are hands-on labs for the modules, and that's what Michel-Ange works with you on. And you can book sessions with him for those as well. Are there any other questions from anyone? If anyone else wants to jump in and to provide any additional information, Michel-Ange, maybe you can answer what are the hands-on labs done from which cloud providers?
Yes, they'll be hosted on AWS Academy. So
Okay.
You would have the environment and a sandbox for you to work in without any costs.
Will the program be available in the fall? We hope so, yes. We want to make sure that's successful, and then we'll move forward. But as of now, the schedule that I put up on the screen is what we have currently. We have another question here about working closely with the government of Canada on projects, and this course was developed in conjunction with them. What has been their involvement in the design of the course? Perhaps someone that was involved in the design. I think the main thing was that they mainly provided funding for us to design and develop the course. I don't believe we focus only on AWS, but perhaps somebody can answer the question on.
No, it's not focused only on AWS. We're talking about cybersecurity requirements and principles in general, and applied to different type of providers and different types of clouds. We're not focusing on one vendor or one specific vendor.
Okay, thank you. What is the dynamic of the course? Is there a number of lessons recorded? Is there a test, assignments, labs? Does anyone want to answer that? Okay, so there's sessions that you need to attend for the asynchronous courses on your own time, but there are sessions that you do need to attend. The sessions are recorded, and like I said before, there is a test and there are labs as well. How much time is required outside of the scheduled class? That's I guess personal for everyone.
Usually few hours for the homework, for the knowledge check, and for the final quiz. Usually it's not more than few hours. For the labs, it's the same thing. You know, they are really simple use cases that you can do that will help you understand how things are really implemented.
Yeah, again, it depends upon the module, what you're learning, and the instructor. So in our learning management system, you have certain pre-class videos or links to watch and some material to read. So it again depends upon the modules. So it's not much. Most of the time, you will be spending is during the class time.
We have a question about do we have connections with employers who can directly hire our graduates?
Yeah, we are working on that. There are some possible situations where employees may hire. So it's all work in progress. So we let you know about that.
Okay, so there's a question about to clarify attendance during all the synchronous classes mandatory, or can lecture recordings be viewed later if it's unable to attend?
Yeah. Lecture recordings will be available. So in case you are not able to attend, you can watch the video. But we recommend that you attend so that you can interact with the instructor and ask your questions, and the learning experience can be good. But in situations where you can't attend, of course, you can watch the video and learn.
Yeah. How long is each session and how many days a week? So each session is 3 hours and it's twice a week. Should we register for 1 and 2 at the same time? I mean, this is the thing. It's the option is yours. You can do what you want. You can register for them both or individually. Because module 1 and 2 are both asynchronous, so you'll do them at the same time. You'll do them at your own time, sorry. Is there a limit of students per module? No, we'd like to have thousands. In general, the classroom sizes, we keep them to a level of no more than 30-ish, 25 to 30. So they're not huge. The link that was put in this chat earlier will get you to the program page. And if you scroll down there and you click on the modules, you'll see each module. That'll get you to the page to register for each module. What cloud environment does the micro-credential focus on? Is there a focus, Sam, or?
There is no really a focus, but we give like real examples on the widely used cloud environments such as Azure, AWS, Google. So you have a good understanding on how things apply to those different clouds, because those big players, they are widely used, in the market. So usually when we talk about specific cybersecurity requirements, we show you how it applies in different, the big three cloud providers. And if there are like other cloud providers also, we talk about them.
Yes, thank you, Mehdi. And to add to what Mehdi said, basically our course is platform independent. That is, most of the concepts what you learn can be applied in any platform. So based on the instructor who is teaching, you may learn certain concepts that are more focused on a particular platform. But generally, as you know, the cloud security, the concepts what you're learning, if you know the concepts, then applying that to various platforms is only how that is done. That is, so it's not going to be a difficult job. As Megati said, the concepts what you're going to learn can be applied in different platforms, in different names, or what menu you're going to choose, or what option you're going to set. So that is the thing. So the main focus will be platform independent approach. However, the labs and certain demos will be specific to some platform.
Yeah, the way to look at it is that in the real world, you'll find some corporations, some companies, they are using maybe different cloud providers at the same time. Some companies are using Azure and AWS at the same time. Some of them, they're just using AWS. Some of them, they're just using Azure. Some of them, they use Azure, then they switch completely to AWS. So you have to understand the foundation, the foundation of cybersecurity applied to the cloud. And this is what we are going to teach you. Regardless of the, it's going to be like technology agnostic. So you can apply it regardless of the cloud. And of course, we give you examples on how it applies on those big vendors, big cloud vendors such as Azure, AWS, and Google.
Yes, thank you, Mehdi. And also one important thing what you have to know is about multi-cloud. So in today, large companies are having some of the systems, as Mehdi mentioned, in one cloud with one cloud provider. Some systems are working in some other platform. So multi-cloud security also is a major thing which you need to understand. So in this particular cloud security program, since we are going to learn multiple platforms, we are not focusing on one particular platform. So that will add value to your knowledge. Thank you.
I have one question here. They just want to confirm that we'll be using current work market tools.
Yeah, definitely. We talk to you about the technologies and tools that are actually and used right now on the market and will be used on the future. And we teach you how the cybersecurity is shifting, where it's going, because it's ever changing. Like I said earlier, 7 years ago, cybersecurity is not done the same as we do it today. 3 years from now, it's going to be changed for sure, 100%. So you need to understand how things are evolving, so you can get prepared for it.
So we have a scheduling question about taking 3 to 6 this winter and 7 to 8 in the fall. Yes, I mean, we haven't scheduled the next session yet, but yes, it's very flexible. You're not required to do them in particular. Something else that I want to mention is that we're also coming up with a bilingual version, English-French. So that'll come out in the fall as well. So if you're more comfortable in French, maybe that's something more interesting for you. I have another question about industry. What are companies looking for when it comes to career and cloud security?
I can talk about it. So as we saw in the presentation, Rodrigo, so there are multiple skills, multiple aspects of skills that's required when it comes down to cloud security professionals. The basic ones are the soft skills that you can transfer over to even the cloud security platforms. But there are some core foundational concepts talking about zero trust architectures, shared responsibility models, incident response. You need to have a clear understanding of all of that. And on top of that, you need to also possess technical skills on the cloud provider platform itself. Like there are lots of native solutions that are readily available on which would help you from a security aspect and from an identity and access identity and like authorization and authentication. And there's a lot of key technical skills that comes into play. So all of this would be covered in our training from a conceptual standpoint, and also it will be applied within a particular, based on the instructor. The concepts would be applied on a particular platform as a demonstration, but you could apply this, you could transfer that, or you could apply the same concept in any cloud providers. Because at the end of the day, the entire course is cloud agnostic, meaning every cloud provider provides the same concept, but they market the tools in different names, different configurations, right? Because let's take, for example, if you want a serverless solution, Microsoft, AWS, Google, all provides the same solution, but they have different product names. But in the course, it's going to be cloud agnostic from, as Mehdi and Sam mentioned, from a conceptual standpoint. But the demonstration may be on a particular cloud, but that's going to be totally based on the instructor. But that's not going to stop you from applying the same concepts in other cloud providers, if that answers your question.
One more question about certification. So is the program effective in preparing for a CCISP? Oh, sorry, you've already answered that, Sam. So in terms of the order, they're scheduled in that order. So they are scheduled sequentially. You'll see when you go to the registration pages and if you look at that chart again of the dates, they are, Nina, maybe you can back up to the chart with the dates. You'll see that they are scheduled in sequence in that order. Can a French student do well in this program? Well, hopefully we'll have we will have the French version available soon in the fall. So yes, I would say yes. So you'll see the modules they start in February from 3 and they go to module 8 will be done by the end of June. Can some of these modules be taken out of order? Yes, they can. They can. But for now, what you see on the screen is what's available. Once we put up the next session, so if your question is, oh, I'll do module 4 now, but then you have to take a break and come back later and finish. Yes, that's all doable.
Yeah, that is if you are non-technical, if you are new to cloud computing, if you are If you want to start from the beginning, it's better to do first module and then do the second module. And later on, you can either follow the order or each of the modules are independent. You can choose any order you want to do. However, if you want to get the McGill badge, you need to do in that particular grouping so that you get that particular badge.
Yeah. And this question keeps coming up from the module 3. So I'll say it again, that if you already have some sort of experience in the industry or you're working already, module 1 and 2 are not required. You can start with module 3. How likely can we get hired after this program? I saw that the cloud security is hard, not an entry level. It's not hiring entry level, maybe.
No, when you start from module 1, it's not going to be hard because we start from the basic. We just introduce what cloud computing is, and then we go to the introduction to cloud security. So it all starts from the very basic concepts.
And to add to what Sam mentioned, I know it can be a little with all the things that you're looking at. I mean, that you're seeing, right? It can be a little daunting, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to cloud security career path, as we saw before in the slides, it always starts from entry level. So you have entry level jobs, mid level jobs, as well as senior level jobs, right? So you can decide on your career path progression, but this micro-credential is going to help you to get to that initial entry level path. And even potentially even to the advanced, because this is kind of, it starts gradually from bottom up, where it starts with the lowest of the base foundation of cloud computing, and then it slowly builds up on the security aspect of it, and then finally it ends with advanced concepts, right? So it gradually goes up, and definitely you can apply this, and you'll be able to find a job.
So let's say I'm hiring for a cybersecurity advisor or cloud cybersecurity advisor for like entry-level position, and you apply to that job position. I will quickly and fast detect if you have a knowledge or not in cloud, like in 2 seconds. So this program will give you like the tools. We put tools in your toolbox so you can, at least when you go to a job interview, use the right words, you know, understand the architecture, use the right terms, and explain how cloud security works. You know, this is what we're trying to do. We increase your chances to understand the landscape of the cloud. You know, so you have more so you can like get into the job interview and have more chances to get the job.
Exactly. We are going to enable you. At the end of the day, it's your how you take it. It's totally on you, right? So,
unfortunately, it's easy for employer to detect if you have knowledge or not, you know, of the cloud. You cannot just read the book and then go for a job interview. You know, you have to understand. You have to have a deep understanding of how things works, on how you know because they're going to ask you question about how, you know, about problems, about issues, about, you know, challenges that, you know, real life challenges that you'll be facing and how to deal with them. So this is how we have like built that program into different topics, and each topic will teach you how it goes together and how you can use it in your job interview, for instance.
Okay, I think I'm starting to see a lot of thank yous, so I think perhaps the questions are gone. But don't fear if we didn't get to your question, or if you have additional questions after the session is over, you can always contact us. Perhaps Nina, can you put up the slide with our contact information so that people, if they come up with some questions after today's session, that don't hesitate, you can contact us at pce.scs@mcgill.ca or at 514-398-5454. Yeah. So I guess that concludes today's session. I want to thank all the presenters for this excellent presentation, and thank you, the audience, for attending. We hope to see you in the classroom very soon. And again, don't hesitate to contact us if you still have questions or you want to speak to one of us or one of the instructors or what have you. Just reach out and we're there for you. Okay? Thanks again, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.